Welcome to the next segment in our Advanced Squad Leader tutorial series. In this, our 7th segment in the series, we are going to talk about what the Advanced Squad Leader landscape looks like and how it affects what your cardboard combatants see. To start with, in most cases you need to see something in order to shoot at it. Our previous examples with defensive first fire principles were pretty straightforward, but there is much more to the battlefield than we saw in our previous videos. However, without seeing those videos, you would not get that much out of this one. If you need to, feel free to go back and review those videos first before continuing. The typical Advanced Squad Leader board is a two-dimensional representation of a three-dimensional battlefield. The pictures denote height as well as depth and density. We will be using board Z for demonstration purposes, but these same rules apply to all the boards in the Advanced Squad Leader system. At this point, there are over 100 boards if you count historical maps, third-party providers, and multi-man publishing offerings. Board Z, like almost all other ASL boards, is geomorphic, in that it will line up with boards either long side to long side or short side to short side. The terrain will make sense and the roads will connect. This board happens to be a city board, which is why all the gray buildings are present. We will start with the differences between these buildings. First, we see the single hex level building. Single hex buildings with small white dots in them are single level buildings. If they are brown, they are of wooden construction, hence a +2 TEM. If they are gray, they are made of stone and thus a +3 TEM. So any unit in this building can only be on ground level. It is also a single level line of sight obstruction, so there is a blind hex directly behind the depiction of the building. Finally, all line of sight is reciprocal, so if one unit tries line of sight and can't see the other, the reverse is also true. With that in mind, let's go to the board. In this example, we will start with hex DD3. It is a single-story stone building, hence all the troops in that building are at the ground level. The first line of sight check, or LOS, is from DD3 to AA2. In an ASL game, you would simply use thread and trace the line of sight from center dot to center dot and see if anything gets in the way. In this case, the building in BB2 gets in the way, so line of sight is blocked. This was a very simple case, but some are not as straightforward. Our second example goes from DD3 to Y2. We string it white dot to white dot and we see that this is clear. If there was a game going on and someone tried to move a unit through Y2, then the defender could fire at it at that point. Finally, let's look at DD3 to U2. This is true ASL at its best. It is not at all straightforward like our other two examples. You cannot string out lines of sight ahead of time, as that is cheating, and by the same token, the moving player has to give the non-moving player adequate time to decide whether or not to fire his weapons. Let's say a unit is moving through U2 and the defender wants to stop and fire at it. He does not know if he can see the hex. If he announces the shot, first fire at U2 from DD3, he cannot take it back and has to take the shot. In this case, stringing out shows that the shot was clear, barely. Once the shot is decided and the shot declared, you figure out the range and firepower plus the effects of the terrain, etc. Using our previous actors, let's see how this works out. It will be the German movement phase. In our first example, the German player assault moves from Z1 to AA2. The Russian player states first fire DD3 to AA2 and strings it out. The X is blocked because of the building in BB2. He rolls a 9 with a red 5 and a white 4, and the counter is marked with a first fire counter. In our second example, the German player is moving from Z1 to X2 and crosses the street in Y2. Now he does not think that the Russians in DD3 can see him. When the squad enters X2, the Russian says hold, first fire DD3 to X2. They string it out and the Russians can see the hex, so he now fires. What would be the total shot in the DRM to the shot? Give yourself a few seconds to figure it out. The answer would be 6 down 2. If you had trouble figuring the answer, then feel free to review our previous videos. In our third example, the German is moving from U1 to U3 and crosses hex U2. Neither player is sure, but the Russian calls first fire DD3 to U2. The shot is clear, as we showed previously. What will be the final shot in the DRM? The shot will be a 4-down-1. That finishes our first terrain video of the Advanced Squad Leader series. We will be bringing you more videos on terrain. Our next one will deal with buildings that have multiple levels and how to differentiate the different heights. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact us at jdhobbies@live.com. And again, thank you for your attention.